BD5 Pilot with you out at the Hillsboro hangar on a Memorial Day, and I'm getting a little bit of work done, getting ready to work on that motor mount, but this ends up being some work on the bulkhead as well as the luggage compartment for my BD5. You'll recall many videos ago I talked about how I planned on taking this space, since the engine's not going to be coming up into this area, and turn it into a luggage area, and I actually had made this little styrofoam piece that would fit up into there, so I could design a template that I could then use to make sure this is gonna fit and work. And so I've taken this template, transferred it over to the material I plan on using for that, which is it's about it's a little over an 8 inch. I think it's about 3/16 thick material. It's this corrugated corrugated plastic material between two sheets of aluminum. And so we've used the template, marked it out, cut it out, checked it for fit. I pre-drilled it, so now we're going to go to trying to clamp it into that area and then drill the holes to hold it in place. This gives me the roof then of where that engine firewall needs to be. I need that measurement to take up against the measurement for the top of the wheel well compartment. And so I've got the pieces in that have been made for the prior engine plan. There's the holes cut out up there that are for the fuel system that was going to be used, and I've removed that. Those holes still serve a purpose. I can run the electrical down into the spar to go out to the wings using those holes, but I need that piece up top to take the measurement. So let's put that in and see how that looks. So there, I've got that clamped in the back, drilled a few pilot holes that put some smaller clecos in to hold it in place, and you can see what is promising to be one of the first BD5s to actually have a little stowage compartment. It's big enough to put a pilot's handbook, some gloves, maybe a flying suit, possibly my helmet. I don't know if it'll fit through the opening there, but store a little bit of stuff there. And as you've seen in the early videos, I'll actually have enough space in this area below, considering how far back the firewall is going to be, that I can actually create some storage there, so I can keep some extra oil, some things for the aircraft inside there as well. And there we go, all clecoed in. And first ever of its type, so I'm told. And you'll notice I will have to glue this in, come up from the bottom, and rivet it in. So I will get pro-sealed and riveted in. Then I'll plan some kind of a lightweight soft fabric inside of here so it doesn't scratch up. Next up, we'll be cutting and trimming that 1 inch by 1 inch angle that I've got. And I've got to cut it to 19.5 inches width. Now I've got to make some marks for doing the drilling on it and getting the setting the rivets in place. So it'll hold it in place so that I can then use it to hold the vertical part for the firewall into place. Well, with a whole bunch of drilling, I've got that angle set in where it's going to set, and then I also have the 1/8 inch piece that I am designing for the initial part, the bracing part of the motor mount itself, where the 4 bolts for the engine are going to go into. And you're asking, why would I put this in this way? Well, here's what I'm after. I've got the aircraft leveled, so the drive system is level, and that's what's one of the critical things in this aircraft, to keep vibration, keep torsional problems out from this drive system. That means it's level with this belt drive system, and then I've secured it at the bottom, but then I've taped it in at the top preliminarily so I can get this piece itself level. Now what I have to do is take an exact measurement from that bolt on that drive pulley system over to this side, so I know exactly where the center of that motor is going to rest. That determines where the bolts go. The rest of the patterning for this piece then is determined by where the engine rests, and then that's going to go against a sheet of that corrugated material, like what I've got with a washer going through it, so I'm not relying on that corrugated material for strength at all. And then on the other side of this mount, I'm going to be putting I think it's 1.5 by 2 inch angle vertical that's going to tie into the top up here. So the engine's going to be very well braced in for those 4 bolts. So between the top water line, the bottom water line in here, I've got this very well triangulated for strength. And then at the rear part here, there'll be another motor support, but that's mostly just for an aid in support. It's not as much structural as it is just centering. And so with a careful leveling of the aircraft and then measurements and marking, there is the center of drive to match up with the drive shaft. So now I'm ready to mark the measurements where the holes are for mounting the engine and getting on with making the motor mount. But alas, it is Memorial Day, so I'm packing up, heading home. I'm going to do a barbecue with my wife. We'll celebrate all my relatives from the Civil War that fought Nacogdoches, Texas with the Rice-Singer family. And yeah, they didn't like damn Yankees. And as well as my Uncle Keith, who served in World War II. So happy Memorial Day to all my friends and family. And thank you for all your support. BD5 Pilot is out for now.